Welcome back to the Hunter Dividends YouTube channel. This is Kyle Hunter. You can follow me on Twitter at Hunt Dividends. Subscribe to this channel below if you haven't already. Give it a thumbs up if you appreciate the content. Thank you for coming back and checking this out here today. We're going to take a look at another dividend stock. I'm going to break this one down looking at Simply Safe Dividends, fast graphs. We'll kind of discuss our way through this stock. It's going to be today Pentair. Ticker symbol is PNR. Let's get into this one. I'm going to share screen here, and we'll take a look at the Pentair numbers on Simply Safe Dividends. So first, the dividend yield for Pentair PNR is 1.67%. Dividend safety score 89, very safe, really good dividend safety score there. So market cap of just 8.72 billion. A mid cap stock, not a huge company. Dividend growth here has been pretty good. In general, they have been a little bit inconsistent compared to some other companies, but I like the business model here. Various water solutions worldwide. This is a pool, industrial flow technologies. This is a largely commercial company, one that I think this type of business model is going to work well in multiple economies. Very safe dividend, I think, is very fair. If you look at the dividend yield today, 1.67, right about the average of what it's been for the last few years. The forward price to earnings ratio, 14.8, definitely below the 5-year average, so it's cheaper at this point. Sector PE, 14.8, industrials average 18.2. This one hit a new high a few months ago and has traded back here in the last few months. It's down to the 52 range as I record this here on the 19th. This is back, I saw 52.50 here a few minutes ago. So this has slipped back a bit. Wouldn't be surprised if PNR slips a little bit more. You might get a chance to buy this one in the 40s again. But let's look at the earnings payout ratio. Something that really stands out to me is 23% earnings payout ratio with the dividend of 1.67% and free cash flow low as well, and the earnings payout ratio, free cash flow payout ratio low as well. I think this one is due to grow more dividend wise. Now, they've been a bit cautious with their dividend increases, only raising them 4 or 5%. Wouldn't be surprised if that speeds up a bit in time. Their earnings per share for growth has been inconsistent. I think that's part of the reason that you don't see the rapid fire, consistent dividend growth, is because this business has kind of sped up and slowed down several times. But the return on equity here has really come up a lot the last few years, 19%. Operating margins, 18%. The net debt to EBITDA, 2.71. Interest coverage, which I do like to look at quite a bit, 13.71, a very solid number there. So I think this being very safe dividend does make a lot of sense. So let's take a look here. I want to share the screen so that we can look at fast graphs. Fast graphs, a tremendous tool. Really love the information they have. Let's start out on a historical standpoint, looking at adjusted operating earnings. This is from yesterday's closing price, 52.88, so it's just a little bit lower than this right now. You see this line here shows that it is trading lower than it usually is on a price to earnings basis. We saw it go up quite a bit, and it's traded back down. Let's look at this from a cash flow standpoint to see it's kind of in line there. We've seen this bump up and down several times. Pentair has not been extremely consistent, like I said. The sales mark, it's a little bit higher than the average for sales. So depending on what you look at, it's probably about fair valuation right now. Now, if we look at forecasting calculators for estimates, you see it's just a tick below. It's almost exactly at it. Based on forecasts going out, they have the total rate of return at 10.78% per year. That would definitely be something you'd have to be happy with, especially with the market I don't think the market is trading at a really low multiple or anything where we should expect the market overall to be turning in 20% a year or anything. So Pentair, a safer stock than the average, and the estimates would suggest that this is at least a fair price. Now let's look at the normal multiples that it's usually traded at. If you go on a normal multiple basis, that would suggest, if you go back to the normal, that you get up to about 21% rate of return there. That's through 2025. I think this shows a pretty good opportunity here for Pentair. To me, this is a company that has a good business model that will be around. Let's take a look at operating cash flow. You see on this one, it's right about where you would expect for operating cash flow. And then if this forecast is correct, then they're saying in the 20 some percent range. You do have a margin here where even at the lowest expectation, it's only flat. And then up in this area, 11, 12%. If you get up to that blue line there, 27.12%. So to me, Pentair is a stock that is a consistent company, good business model. It's not exciting, but you guys know dividend stocks don't have to be exciting. I think the 1.67% yield is not going to excite too many people. They're going to say, well, I want a higher dividend than that. But yield on cost could look a lot different years in the future based on that payout ratio being below 30%. So I think Pentair is a good long-term holding. Like I said, I do think that there might be some chances to buy this at a lower price coming ahead, but that you see the fast graphs breakdown, it looks pretty good from a valuation standpoint. It also looks like a company that truthfully has plenty of room for growth on a dividend standpoint. And if we get back to these normal multiples, then we could see some nice share price appreciation as well. Simply Safe Dividends gives it the 89 for dividend safety. It's a stock that the consistency of earnings is not going to be quite what you would expect from some older companies in the industrial area, but I think it'll bounce back when it does have those slower years. So Pentair, a stock that I do like. Don't think it's a screaming buy at this point, but I do think this is a good stock to keep an eye on. And it's one that kind of flies under the radar. So I wanted to take a look at it here today. PNR, dividend stock analysis. If you guys have any stocks you want me to cover, please do comment those below. I'd be happy to give a deep dive into those from Simply Safe Dividends, Fast Graphs, any other sources. Sometimes look at the analyst reports and things like that. But if you have any ideas, drop them below. Any feedback, questions, comments, put them below as well. I appreciate everybody tuning in today, and I hope that you guys have a great rest of the week. Let's try to keep stacking up those dividends.